Young women, 20, 30s, of Reddit, in your early experiences with dating, what are some lessons you learned that you wish to pass along to other young women or to young men? You can't convince someone to love you. If you're brokenhearted, the thing that heals you is space and time from that person, and filling in the hole they left in your life with other positive things. Seeking contact with the person who broke your heart is picking at the scab. My fiancée broke up with me 5 months ago, and every day since then I have wanted to run back to her and beg her to take me back, but I cut off all contact with her a few months ago. We didn't have a horrible breakup. She basically just said she didn't love me anymore. / she didn't really know why, but she said she just knew it was something she needed to do. It still hurts and confuses me, and some days all I want is to be with her again. But so far I've been able to stay in control. I'm surprised at how much self-control I've managed to summon despite feeling so broken for so long. Never convince yourself that a sucky person doesn't suck just because you want some affection and/or company. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. No truer words. Or when they just tell you. Don't stay with someone if it isn't working. You are not obligated to continue a long-term relationship just because it's been long-term. If shit needs to change and it can't or won't, call it. Don't continue a mistake because you've spent a long time making it, mate. This is called sunk cost fallacy in economics, and humans are apparently the only creatures to be affected by it. I guess we are the only ones to hope for things to get better rather than changing them. Human hope burns eternal. Speak up. If you want something, don't just sit around and wait for it. Go get it. This right here. If you don't tell people what is on your mind, what you want, what you don't want, and what hurts you, etc., you'll be in for a bad time. It took me far too long to learn that lesson. However, I'm in a situation now that I love, and it works for us. It's non-traditional, but we are both happy. The key is communication. Without that, it would be awful. If, after a couple of dates, they appear disinterested in anything you have to say, it is because they are. This 100%. If someone is interested and wants to spend time with you, they will go out of their way and make time to do so. Then there's those guys who might have something open next week for coffee. Those are the ones that take days or a couple weeks to respond, if even at all. We all have jobs, get busy, or distracted, but come on. Most people are constantly on their phones. There's no way they didn't see your text, hun. They're just talking and making plans with someone else for this week. A bit past your age range, but here are my pearls of wisdom. If he's not treating you well when you're first dating, know that it won't get any better as time goes on. Also, he just not that into you is a thing. If he wants to make you a priority in his life, he will. If he makes a million excuses why he can't see you or make time for you, just move on. You will save yourself a lot of wasted time and heartache. The person you date should make you a better version of you, not the opposite, i.e., he should bring out your best, not your worst. Also, he's not that into you is not reflection of who you are as a person at all. There really is a thing called bad timing, poor chemistry, etc. No need to waste sleep on it. Just keep being your awesome self and move on to someone who is that into you. Can't say this enough. Just because someone doesn't click with you doesn't mean something is wrong with you. There are billions of people in this world. Go find the one that does click with you. If someone wants to spend time with you, they will make time for you. I embarrassed myself a few times before learning this. I say this all the time. Don't make the relationship one-sided. You both have to put in effort to see each other. I wholeheartedly agree with this statement. The last person I was seeing attends the same school as me and was so busy that he couldn't even make time to have lunch for 10 to 15 minutes a week. I didn't even ask for a day because of how busy he made himself seem. All he did was text me how beautiful I was or how much he missed me without putting in the effort to hang with me in person. Yet, somehow he had time for the gym, volleyball club / tournaments at our school and parties. I wasted 5 months on him. Seriously, if he likes you, he'll find ways to make time. You won't have to seek it. It'll be there. You're not trying to be liked, you're determining your compatibility. I wasted a lot of time being likable and accommodating and unhappy because I wasn't being honest about myself and my needs. Once I changed that perspective, dating became a lot healthier for me. I'd also recommend the book Attached by Levine and Heller. It made me so much smarter about agreeing to first date and further dates in terms of determining good fits. Life is much better when you figure out who you are and don't try to be something else, just a better version of you in the long run. That confidence in yourself will attract the right friends, the right spouse, and even perhaps the right job in some cases. Don't think you can save someone or make them better. Most of the time, you can't. Don't think you can save someone or make them better. Most of the time, you can't. This is what I came here to say. Don't fall in love with someone's potential. Don't have a list of things in your head that when they grow up and start to do these things then I can be happy. Go on what they're like right now and cut short any fantasies or plans to encourage them to change. My very wise grandmother told me, take the things that annoy you about your boyfriend the most, multiply them by 1,000, and think about whether or not you can live with that. That's what it will be like when you're married to him. She was right. This can probably be good advice to any gender in this age group that is shy like I am. It took me a long time to realize this myself, but I finally got there. You aren't obligated to be someone's entertainment, and vice versa. If they aren't trying to have fun, it isn't your job to provide it. It's okay to just relax, and awkward silence isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you can't think of anything to say, that doesn't necessarily mean you messed anything up. You don't have to be on all the time. I used to beat myself up a lot because I had such a hard time talking to people I had crushes on. I'd be shy the whole date and then apologize afterwards via the internet for not being the same kind of exciting as I was during text. Just because you didn't think of enough jokes doesn't mean you're boring. Just because you didn't share enough about yourself doesn't mean you're nobody. First impressions are not the most important part of building a relationship. It's okay if it takes a third or fourth impression to leave your unique mark. Just because you didn't think of enough jokes doesn't mean you're boring. Just because you didn't share enough about yourself doesn't mean you're nobody. This really resonated. Thank you. If you can't be honest to your best friends and family about how he's actually treating you, he's not treating you right. Adding on to this, if he tells you that what happens between us should stay between us, he knows what he's doing is wrong and is trying to isolate you. Don't be afraid to be single. You have to learn to be happy with yourself before trying to find that person who makes you happy. In my experience I've found that if you can't be weird together or let the quirky things you do normally just happen, then it won't work. My ex would always give me odd looks or make fun of me when I did a little strange thing here and there. He also made fun of my voice, so there's that. Overall, just not hiding who you are to please the other person. Sometimes I hum old German march melodies and my GF fills in with the drum line by slapping her knee or banging a ladle on the pot when we cook together. True love. If you are going on a date with someone for the first time, it never hurts to let a friend or family member know who you are going with and when you are going. Tell them that if they haven't heard from you by a certain time, they should start trying to contact you or find you. I've always shared my location on iPhone with at least one person and told them what my plans are for first dates. Sometimes you date good people that you just don't have chemistry with. Nobody has to be the good guy or bad guy. You deserve someone you get fireworks with. Don't just settle. Don't be afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. It'll suck, but staying with the wrong person will suck more. You don't want to have the right person come into your life when you're stuck in a relationship. Fireworks fade too though. Don't ignore something worthwhile just because it's not the most exciting dopamine rush you found to date. Nobody is able to read your mind. You have to communicate. Your feelings are valid most of the time, and you should feel free to talk to your whomever you're dating. It is okay to protect yourself. If you encounter a toxic person, you are by no means required to keep them in your life. Do not change yourself to please someone else. This is important. You will change as you grow up, but don't change on the account of someone else. Breakups will happen. They're inevitable sometimes. Make sure you are emotionally and mentally sound enough to handle it if it happens.